Scott Pilgrim Takes Off might be peak. Just hear me out.
Yeah, that shit elegant. Got a little bitch with some melanin. Speak on it again till we step in there. And I'm packing.
Yo, someone here back with another video. Today I'm doing a summary / review of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, which is this 8-episode show on Netflix. And if y'all didn't know, I'm a huge Scott Pilgrim fan. Like, I love this shit. Like, way before middle school and before niggas start doing the fucking little Uzi Vert profile picture shits with them, like, in quarantine. That shit was corny as fuck. But yeah, I watched the movie my freshman year, even though this shit like came out a long ass time ago. I don't fucking care. And shit, you know, I like the rock music that they used and shit. Do I know the genre? Fuck no. Did I get into rock music? No. Lucky better, my nigga.
Can't set spite with the high tech. That shit too pretty to digest. Must be an X on my.
If you did not watch the show, major spoiler warnings. Obviously, it's a fucking review. The first episode starts off with Scott dreaming about Ramona of her like skating in the subspace ways and his heads and shit. Then he wakes up. Wallace, my favorite character, but hating ass nigga, said, "Oh, I don't care. This is the second time you told me. I still don't care." Niggas just want to vent sometimes. And we know too many niggas fucking light skin ass, cornbread ass nigga. After he has that dream and shit, he goes about his day, then slides to a party that his band member invites him on to later that day. Then he sees Ramona. He's like, damn, this is the girl of my dreams and shit. Goes to spit game. Nigga starts talking about the lore of Sonic. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek ass nigga. I had a collection of fucking Hot Wheels and cars. But you're not gonna catch me talking about Sonic to a girl. I love that shit too. But come on, my nigga. You can't be doing this shit right now, bro. You selling the bag. So after that terrible ass fucking attempt to like spin on her, he goes to ask Julie her name, this, that, and the third, says it's Ramona. He like, alright, bet I'm out and shit. So, you know, instead of like, you know, asking out on a date there, nigga like a loser. Twin for real. Goes on Netflix because it was the time like where Netflix was just coming in and shit, and orders the DVD to come to her as Riz. But he was pulling a Ruby Rose fan type shit because no way that nigga dropped 62K and randomly seen you. So they go on a little day. It's getting wintertime, chilly as shit, this and that third. So they slide back to her crib and all that shit. Still terrible Riz attendance, but he was doing his shit. I'll give him to him that he was doing his shit. So you spend his game, all this shit, this, that, and third, saying, you know, like, I'm cold, you're cold, you got a bed and a blanket, we can be warm under there. Let this nigga cook. She had to dip out for work and all of that. So he asked her to slide to his band's concert when at this time, he was dating a 14-year-old. Well, no, a girlfriend, because everyone was using quotation marks, and even the captions, it said girlfriend. Crazy. But yeah, and they held hands once, so I was like, okay, that don't count. And two, in the actual movie, she wasn't on him like that, really. So, you know, go to the band concerts. He didn't break up with Knives and all that shit. And like, I think the show started and she just passed out or heard that shit and passed out. Then Matthew Patel, one of Ramona's exes out of all the 7 evil exes, appears out of nowhere saying, "Oh, aren't you Scott Pilgrim? Let's scrap." He was like, "Oh, what you mean, bro?" And shit, cause he didn't read the letter fully. And two, some niggas gonna fight me over a girl. Nigga, what's up with you? Like, what? It's almost 2024. We gotta leave that shit back in 2019. Never mind. Leave that shit in forever. They start the scrapping and all that shit. And One Punch Man. We see the $210 that Scott had knocked out of his pocket. And boom, that nigga's dead. That was the end of episode 1. Episode 2 starting off with the funeral of Scott Pilgrim and all that shit. Ramona is dyeing her hair, which is a continuous cycle that they do, which is a nice touch because in the movie, her hair did change a lot of colors. I didn't read the fucking books, nor did I play the game. But do your homework, and when I get the better laptop, because we don't talk about what the fuck I'm using right now. Fucking shitty booty ass fucking Core i3. Knives pulls up to the funeral because, you know, Scott, her boyfriend, died out of that, wearing his coat and everything, all that shit. So Ramona is there obviously because that was his, you know, someone she fucked. She had the sparks, you know what I'm saying? So we've seen like the back and forth, like a back and forth argument with Knives and Ramona, all that shit. Narrator's like, it can't get more dramatic than this. This nigga had it up. I'm not saying envy. Envy. It's in her name. And two, she not cool. I don't fuck with Envy Adams and shit. And so, you know, superstar, red carpet roll up and everything, all this shit, bro. Walked into that nigga's funeral. Everyone's like, damn. And like, bro, they all forget it's that nigga's funeral and all that shit, bro. And she was like, oh yeah, for the brief moment that I dated Scott, which I barely remember now. I was like, one, who invited this nigga to the funeral? Two, are we just gonna let her disrespect my nigga like that? And no one's like, oh, whoa, wait, he's dead. Why are you doing this? Nah, Effie Adams. Y'all niggas some dick eaters, bro. All that shit. Performed a song in that nigga's memory. It wasn't, bro. Free promo type shit. And yeah, then it's the subplot of the episode because Matthew Patel fought Scott. Scott is dead, and you know that's her new boyfriend. So technically, in those terms and logics, he would be technically with Ramona. That's not how life works, a little bro. And yeah, everyone was like, oh my god, you didn't get what Ramona? Yeah, nigga, no. And 2, you killed her nigga. And 3, yeah, so instead of like the 7 evil exes like being like a group order like how it was in the movie, it was kind of sloppy and shit. And Matthew said to Gideon to challenge, like they challenged each other for the position of who gotta be the leader of the 7 evil exes and shit. And they fought. Bro, Matthew Patel kind of whooped this shit out of Gideon, but Gideon was doing his shit towards the end, and then he lost. And because they said on everything down to this boxers. Yeah, he said, I'm packing my bags, I'm going to Toronto. Good choice, my nigga. Then there's episode 3, starting off with young Neil talking about the memory and life of Scott Pilgrim as his friend and all that shit. Tried to write a script / movie in his honor of his life and shit. Nigga crashed out and said, oh shit, I didn't do nothing. Me while writing this whole fucking script. And then he passes out, wakes up again into his bed and all that shit. Sees his sleep paralysis demon. Gets scared shitless, because I would too. I don't have one, thanking the Lord. And all that. And then he woke up and shit. Because he's like, damn, I wrote this whole script. Bro did not question the sleep paralysis demon at all. What the fuck? I'd have been like, actually, I would have stayed my ass in bed. I'm not getting killed in my sleep, bro. I'm good off of that. Ramona was chasing more clues to where Scott's whereabouts might be at, which led her to the, like, basically their blockbuster at the time. The one thing that was also weird to me, I'm assuming the only reason why this gets a fly pass is because it's a small town, but everyone dated everybody. I'm like, yo, that's your ex. You dated him. That's that. I was just like, y'all swapping like this? They was trading keys like it was nothing. I'm like, so that was the weird part to me, because I'm like, I can't swap keys that like that. That's crazy to me. Sloppy seconds, it's crazy here and shit. They talking about it and all of that. Roxanne, one of Ramona's exes and shit, pulled up to fight her and all of that. They started fighting most of the episode and everything, but it was kind of cool and funny because it was in a video store going through all the different movies and change the scenery and all that shit. And 2, instead of like the movies where Scott would just fight all 7 exes, this path or timeline was a different take on that shit, and I liked it so much more because it was the reconciliation or like the final goodbyes or like patching up the rough shit that Ramona left the states of those people in. Funny part is Roxanne shoot her shot. She's like, oh, can you get back together? Nah. Friends with benefits? Nah. Then she tried to kiss Scott's first girlfriend. No sparks. That's why I'm like, swapping keys like this? Hey man, say man. I think I'm just the only one that's questioning this shit. Episode 4, whatever. Talking about how Lucas Lee, one of Ramona's exes, Hollywood superstar, all that shit, got the part to be Scott and Scott Pilgrim's movie and all this shit and more. The most trifling I've ever seen, right? Like, because it was the first part of this movie. They have Lucas Lee, which is one of Ramona's exes, playing Scott, which is Ramona's new nigga or boyfriend and shit. Then they have Envy Adams, Scott's ex-girlfriend, playing as Ramona. That is some trifling ass. I would be like, hey, twin, get this nigga off the stage, bro. Please. Yeah, niggas not gonna play me better than me. And that's exactly what Wallace did. He took the part of the actor Wallace and said, nah, it's too easy being a nigga like me. So, the ego of hell. So, as you know, because Ramona doesn't believe Scott just died like that, and I wouldn't too. That's my nigga Scott. He got that shit like that, and was asking each ex, because 7 evil exes, evil, even though she's the evil one, because the way how she's done these people is fucking crazy to me, and everything like that. So they talk about the subject of their breakup because, bro, mind you, she watching him skateboard like every single day, all this and more. Moved on to another nigga. and like he was just skating and his board broke, and like I wouldn't have cherished that board because of what a girl had done to me. I would have thrown that board away. That's hold on to memories that badly. It's crazy. Yeah, but once again, like the last episode with Roxanne or Roxy, I don't remember, they fixed that patch that she left in that nigga's heart and shit, and she helped him get away from the paparazzi. Episode 5, Lucas Lee falls off because, you know, he has the ego of hell and all that shit, and gets replaced by another one of Ramona's exes, Todd Ingram, who was actively dating Scott's ex, Envy Adams, which I'm like, swapping keys like this, come on. There was like this one scene where Ramona was just like, Scott was supposed to just put his hands around Ramona on some come here real quick type shit. These niggas started kissing. They had to take the scene 43 times, bro. Wallace was like, oh, to the director, I got an idea. Made them kiss in front of Envy, which is his. That nigga fell in love and was just going hell on them Hellcats. They a Pound Town type of shit in them trailers every time. They was rehearsing lines and shit to the point where that nigga said in the interview before then, saying, oh, I love Envy so much, the vegan love I have for her, this and the third. And then next interview, Envy, you know, I like Wallace more now and all that shit. So Envy wanted to fight Wallace about that shit. And Wallace was like, oh yeah, I can try to fix her boyfriend. Just, yeah, this was just a one-off fling. Mind you, that nigga Todd was in love. But as he said, he lived life in the moment because he was dating Ramona, said that shit to her, and literally said, oh yeah, I got my girl back in Toronto waiting on me. Do you not know how evil that is? But still, Ramona's still worse than these people somehow. After Wallace was like, yeah, bro, it's just a one-off fling. Todd was upset, this and that third, started bawling like a little girl and teleported into his trailer. And because Envy was pissed off that her nigga got stolen, she wanted to fight Wallace about it. And there was 4 voice actors to 1 person, which was Ramona, because that was her stunt double. And because of Wallace's verbal abuse, the stunt double said, nah, fuck all of this shit, we out, bro. And I would be too. I'm not taking that level of disrespect, little nigga. Episode 6, we're moving on to Ramona being on some Scooby-Doo shit, finding more clues to find out where the fuck Scott is. Back to like the venue that the band concert was being held. Played the security tape, saw that it was a green portal, thought it was Todd Ingram because he's vegan. Vegan has portals in this world. It wasn't him. So still looking for more clues and all that shit. And Gideon moves into Julie's house. They're dating now, and comes from the scene where it's, oh,
I'll miss you. I'll miss you f***ing more.
Comes back to the crib, sees the crib is messed up and all that shit. Evil robot jumps out the window because they're like, why the fuck is there a robot in my house? He just jumps, but the robot, I ain't gonna lie, the robot was doing the most dumbest shit or getting abused like crazy. Nigga got ran over, nigga jumped out of windows, niggas was just acting like niggas, bro, and all that shit. And so towards the end of the episode, everyone's trying to find clues. Like Scott's band found more clues, and Ramona was putting the final pieces together. And guess who's at the door? Scott motherfucking Pilgrim, because that nigga is not dying like that. They put 2 and 2 together, saying that it was the twins that made the robot, because the robot is vegan, never ate meat before. Pause on that statement and all that shit and more. And so that brings us to episode 7, which is like, it was like a more of like, was explaining the backstory of what Scott was doing at the time where he was lost and all that shit, and talking to older Scott and saying that Ramona was bad news, even though it was older Scott's fault and all that shit and more. And the reason why he was doing all of this was to save from Scott and Ramona falling in love. Or you could just fix the issues that you have with your girl, nigga, and all that shit. And you know, they were going back and forth with plans because Scott had a contingency plan. Ramona had the contingency plan because the sleep paralysis demon that young Neil saw was actually Ramona the whole time and all that shit. And that's why future Ramona was trying to help them, because they knew older Scott or future Scott was going to do some dumb shit. Thought back, everything was A-okay. They tried to kiss. Boom. AK field, or anti-kissing field and shit. Then there is episode 8, the final fucking episode of this amazing ass show. Started the episode, it was Matthew Patel, because the movie was formed from a movie to an actual play now, and we had 3 of Ramona's exes playing Scott Pilgrim, which is still crazy to me. Chat, this is not wild and shit. But older Scott transported everyone into a portal and everything mid-show and all that shit to fight everyone, which the meaning of it, Scott Pilgrim versus the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the whole world of the people fighting him and shit, you know? Y'all niggas don't know stuff. This shit gonna flop. But yeah, what's it called it? So they all started to try to fight him. Scott was trying to do his shit. He got a black eye and got punched out of his shoe. Yeah, man. And then everyone else was trying to fight, got transported back afterwards and all that shit. So it was just Scott and Ramona now. And before they started fighting, Scott with one, he was like, hold on, give me a second. I thought he was going to run and get the other shoe. No, he just tied the lace on the one shoe and all that shit. Then older Ramona came through for the clutch because she was like, Scott, what the fuck are you doing? You're literally beating up yourself over me. This and the third. Future Ramona, younger Ramona, or present Ramona helped, like, combined into some because older Scott got it wrong. Sonic 3 type of shit where they combined into supersonic type shit. Helps older Scott, which that relationship was great, crazy and shit. And then younger Scott was like, yeah, we can fix this shit and everything, because she wouldn't remember it. I'm just assuming subspace memory shit. Got transported back to the movie theaters and all that shit to kiss her once again and all that shit. Amazing end to a fucking beautiful show. I love that movie so much. I love that fucking. I want to play a game. I just love Scott Pilgrim so much. That shit was 11 out of 10, my nigga. For the 8 episodes, they don't need no season 2. Do not continue this story. Like the author said, yeah, we have no future plans. Keep it that way. Because the touches I love just made it so much better than Scott just fighting all 7 exes. She patched shit up with all of them people to be a-okay with them, even though half of the town is dating someone else's exes, which is swaps of hell, nigga. That is crazy to me. But we are at 150 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for the love and support on the dream video, and that one person who said change my mic. I'm finally taking that into consideration. I hope it sounds better this time. Yeah, man, I love my supporters. I love all y'all niggas. I'm gonna keep pushing this shit until we at 200, 300, 400, that 500. Gonna keep pushing this shit till I stop, nigga. I'm never stopping this shit. This shit is too much fun.
Leon get the bitches, but if you know that's cap.